Happy day, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 18th, 2018, and in just 30 minutes or so, we're heading to Amway Center to go see one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band of all time. I will always say Van Halen was the greatest band of all time, but maybe my favorite band of all time? Bon Jovi.
How are you doing so far? You okay?
And some of you guys are probably going to pick yourselves off the floor and say like, oh my god, because I know this guy loves some hardcore metal stuff. We have very eclectic tastes, but I will say this, and this is not a guilty pleasure, this is an absolute pleasure. I love the band Bon Jovi. Probably not the thing that you hear from most guys, you know, being forthcoming about that, but it's true. I'm putting it out there, and they are certainly the band that I have seen most live in my life. For those that are new to the channel, you don't realize, I grew up in Flushing, Queens. Bon Jovi was a band that I got into very early on in like the 7800 degree Fahrenheit era as a result of U68, which was a local UHF channel.
We're the latest addition to the New York skyline. U68 stereo music television. Shine on, New York.
That would play rock and metal videos after hours, after Uncle Floyd's show. And then I had an aunt that was very much into punk rock music and other types of things, but she was absolutely in love with Bon Jovi. I spent a lot of time with my aunt, and as a result, I got to see the band play very early on in all types of places, whether it was theme parks or opening for other bands, etc. But I would estimate at this point, I've probably seen them well over 100 times. You heard that right. Some of the most memorable times that I've seen them, during the Slippery When Wet tour, when they were first blowing up, they played like 7 days back to back between the Garden and Nassau Coliseum and I think the Meadowlands, and we pretty much went to like every show of that run. When Bon Jovi were doing their victory lap kind of in 1989, we went to the Giant Stadium show and we stayed hours on the floor in the middle of the stadium, and was amazed that they were bringing their stage show that we had seen previously with the huge catwalk that lowered down into the stadium, and they were able to pull that off. These tickets and the raffle and the picture, etc., were from the second annual Bon Jovi Christmas benefit in Red Bank, New Jersey, at the Count Basie Theater. I don't know if you guys can see the ticket that's on the right. That was the second row of the orchestra right in front of the stage. That happened by way of, and this is going old school, you know, obviously we didn't really have email and things like that back at that time period, but sending a letter to the camp for two reasons. One, we were playing in a band called Primetime at the time, and it was similar to the shirts that John and Richie wore in the Born to Be My Baby video, and also was a little confused whether I wanted to go to school or wanted to just do music full time, and was looking to maybe, you know, the route to get into music was to do roadie type work. Lo and behold, one day get a phone call back in response to the letter. It sounded like my mom on the phone. I didn't believe it and I hung it up, and then they called back again, and it was John's mom calling to say that they were going to send us the shirts that they wore in the video, to talk me out of doing roadie type gigs and to pursue other avenues, that wasn't the way to go in music, and offered me the ability to go sit with the family at that show, the Christmas benefit. There have been many, many times that I've seen them that I've put on memorable shows in multiple states. The shows that we've seen in Jersey, especially the smaller club shows, whether it was the annual Christmas shows at Count Basie Theater or appearances at the Stone Pony, those are really awesome times. But this is a band that I've been able to share with the family. Jess has been going to see them many times now, as well as Mary, and I've seen them with countless friends over the years, and some of my best friend memories are results of going to shows with them, multiple nights at Jones Beach, arena shows here and there. I mean, pretty much every tour that they've done, we've been to. I was absolutely ecstatic when the band was announced that they were going to be in the Hall of Fame. And that just took place last Saturday. I was able to watch kind of the pirated footage online on YouTube. God bless YouTube for some things, right? Absolutely amazing to see them back together with Howard. And we actually went to the Private Parts premiere for the Howard Stern movie and ran into John the following day on the street. And at that time they were feuding between John and Howard, and caught up with John a little bit. And the topic that we ended up speaking about was the movie and the premiere. And you could tell that at that time, even though they were feuding, John asked sincerely what we thought of the movie and how the premiere went and things like that, and seemed remorseful that he wasn't there. But I was really, I don't want to say devastated because it wasn't the end of the world for me, but as far as music goes for the band, devastated wise when Richie Sambora left the band a few years back. Was very happy to see him back on stage with John and everybody playing. Richie is pretty much the reason why I really liked Bon Jovi to get going, and this was from his solo show at the Academy in 1991, and then the following day at the Count Basie Theater, or that week at least, the Count Basie Theater in New Jersey. Both of those shows we had ridiculous positions for as well. And down here, beyond all the junk, we have a mock Sambora license plate and a couple of passes. And we've got a ton of memorabilia from the band over the years also, which is kind of out of way. The only thing I can show is this thing, because it was sitting on the shelf next to me. Anyway, very excited to get out to Amway tonight. Not as excited because Richie's not playing tonight, although you kind of hope against hope that maybe some magic happens post Hall of Fame induction. But that said, let's get going. If there's anything that can suck the life out of you, it's waiting in this traffic. We've made it to Amway and parked. Over in the distance is the Citrus Bowl to the left. This is across the street over here, beyond the Pure Magic sign, is where Orlando City plays. And down here, this is Amway Center. That's where bands load in and out. So if you ever wanted to come for autographs, WWE personnel usually kind of go in and out constantly through those doors. Here we go, Church Street happenings before the show. We got this big banner that you can do for a photo op. Keep rocking Bon Jovi 2018 Hall of Famers. And then we have Orlando's classic hits. Sadly, they're the ones that are pretty much promoting this show for the most part. The cardboard cutout of John. We've got a little area over here to hold giant John heads. You could love a bad name on the big screen. And here we are walking in. You should know that this show is sold out. Bon Jovi consistently have top 5 biggest tours every year, believe it or not. Alright, we fought a gigantic crowd to get in here. Let's see what they have for sale. Hope Delicious shirt for the Soul Kitchen. I like that. Got a bathrobe, scarf. I'm gonna try another look at the shirts this way. There we have stuff over here. Alright, best look at the merch. Got a couple jackets, which are not unreasonably priced at $125 considering shirts are $50 and the bathrobe is $80. They have a cash-only bar serving runaway lemonade. Where you going, hombre? The Magic Burger is not so magical. We have a random band opening. I have no idea who it is because we missed the very beginning. seats are literally the cheap seats again. These are like $30 tickets, or I think they were 20 face value, maybe 30. Front row, top section. Perfect view though. I've been in the front and I've been all the way up at the top. I'm not complaining as long as I'm here. I'm hoping we get a little blood on blood tonight. Maybe these days. In the rafters at Amway Center is a banner for Orlando United 49 for the folks that lost their lives in the Pulse Massacre. And when it comes to basketball banners, it's pretty sad. We have 2 of them flying. By the way, when you're in any type of open area and you're using a phone, people could just be zooming in right on top of you and see all of your personal data. So, I know a lot of people don't think about it, but they should.
Good evening, Orlando. How you doing on a Wednesday night? It's good to be back here. It's been a little while. We got a lot of catching up to do. I don't know about you, but we had a pretty busy week. And I think the celebration continues right here tonight, okay? Somebody take me to the sea. Alright now, you know who you are. It's a Bon Jovi concert. Get up out of your seats. Come on, get up out of your seats. I want to know you with me out there. Come on, come on, come on. That's what I get. That's How are you doing so far? You okay? That's all right. I've been through these times, been walking on the moon, burning like 1,000 candles in her arm. The skin under my fingertips, the honeysuckle on her lips, sweeter than a man deserves to taste. What else can I say? Amen. Amen. What you need, how it what you need. If you want me, let my hands out. Lay your hands on me. Lay your hands on me. Lay your hands on me. I like it a lot. Orlando's all warmed up on Wednesday night. I love that.
We are leaving while Wanted is being played. I know they play Living next, but with no Richie, there's no Wanted. I'm sorry. Mary fell asleep during the show. Jess enjoyed the newer songs, which was funny. Songs, I wouldn't say they're new, but over the last 10 or 15 years at least. So I'm outside Wawa. We beat the crowd out by not waiting for Wanted or Livin'. I was surprised the entire time during the show, and this was the first show for Bon Jovi post Hall of Fame induction. He referenced it at the end, it going into Wanted Dead or Alive, but just basically said it's been a long road for them going from Runaway to the Hall of Fame. I thought that he might say something a little bit more in detail, at least thanking people, because it was basically the fans that put them into the hall this time around. For those that don't know, the first time that they were up for induction, when they were at least nominated, they didn't get in because the folks that run the hall are not big fans. They've never had a lot of fans or critics, but they've changed the voting pattern, or the way that people get into the hall now, where they place an emphasis on fans getting them in, and their vote with the fans was overwhelming to be able to get in. So just expected maybe a little bit more along those lines. They also didn't have any merchandise that said like Hall of Fame 2018, which I think that they would take advantage of that. But overall, good show. Not amazing. The first hour was really good, then it kind of hit a lull and came back, and
no, it didn't. Never came back.
You know, just didn't think it came back. But
I have napkins.
like I said, Mary took a nap at one point. But you know, to me, I mean, because I love the band, I said this on Twitter, for those that don't follow me, Bon Jovi is kind of like, you know, without Richie Sambora, I think, is kind of like New York pizza in Florida. It's not the same. I mean, I'm going to eat it. It's still good, but you know, it's just different, and it's
analogy.
Not as good. Thank you. But in any event, we're going to call it quits for tonight. So we're going to eat our Wawa goodies. Mary's got ice cream.
I got 2.
Jesse got ice cream. I got High C Orange. This is my favorite garbage beverage, by the way, and I'm going to drink all of it, and I'll probably be up all night going to the bathroom. But anyway, thank you very much for coming along. Thank you very much for all of your likes and your comments and your subscriptions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great night. See you guys.